going on, guys? It's your boy Noe here with Belz, and we are the podcast Let's Grab a Drink.
That's right, guys. Today, our guest is Ilse with Connect Media Firm.
Yes.
Very excited to have her on board. I've met you through Noe a couple times already, and I feel like your energy, your smile, everything is just so welcoming.
Yes.
It is.
No, thank you guys so much for allowing me to be a part of it. Obviously, I'm still fairly new, tapping into the entrepreneurship life.
Okay.
But just these few months have been so rewarding. I've met so many cool people. Perfect example right here.
I'm blushing.
That's what I do.
So, I know. So it's been a lot of fun, and I'm so thankful. And obviously, one of the biggest things for me is, and what people always tell me is like, okay, it's only been a few months, but still, people love to hear the story behind it and how to get into it, because there's a lot of people out there that are looking for like the right time or the perfect opportunity to take that jump into like the entrepreneurship life.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely. And it seems like you said, there's a huge spike in it recently where everybody wants to start something, but sometimes you get burned out.
Yeah,
real quick.
It is. It's so easy to be like, I have an idea, or I want to create a product, or I want to create a brand, or something like that.
Right.
I want to do it. I want to be an entrepreneur. But people, it's really hard because people don't understand it's a huge jump. Especially if you are working your typical. You're working Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, clock in, clock out. Awesome, perfect.
Yeah.
You have your personal life outside of it. But whenever you become an entrepreneur, that doesn't exist. You basically work 24 hours,
Right.
and you have to be on call for all of your clients all the time, and if they want something, you gotta jump. Even when you're on vacation, it's so hard to take vacation, so it's not for everyone. Of course, it's so rewarding, it's so rewarding, but it has its perks, and also you have to kind of manage, like, it's not so fabulous as people really think it is,
Well,
It's glamorized
you
a
talk
lot.
about entrepreneurship. What is your brand? Because I feel like, is it just marketing? I mean, but not really, because I feel like I already know just because you do so much.
Yes.
So what is it about, like, what gravitated you towards entrepreneurship, and what did you grab onto?
Of course, yes. So a little bit about me. So I basically started off during college. My major in college, I went to University of Houston, so go Cougs.
Okay.
I gotta give my shout out. So I started off at U of H. My major is broadcast journalism. So I swore I was gonna be a reporter. I swore that was it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it, and this and that.
You said do it, by the way.
Yes, but you know what? I came into the entrepreneurship life, and I love it a little too much.
Oh, okay. That's awesome, though.
Yes.
That is
so
awesome.
I swore that's what I was gonna do. So that's what I was geared towards. So I had an awesome opportunity while I was in college, a sophomore in college. I got an opportunity to work at Telemundo, the news station, and so I was able to work there full time in the newsroom, which is a huge blessing and a huge
Doing
experience.
what?
So I was an assignment editor. I know, yeah. So it's so exciting, yeah. So I was given a wonderful opportunity of being an assignment editor. So basically, as an assignment editor, I was the one that was always listening to the scanners, knowing what's going on around the city, calling the police, calling the fire department, confirming information, and then we would send the reporters out. So I was doing a lot of that. I was doing a lot of field
So you're
producing.
fishing for stories, right?
Yeah, we were always looking for stories, pitching stories out there. I did a lot of the field producing, so I would go out. So for example, whenever the Astros won the World Series and they had that awesome parade, in downtown, we would have the newscast out there, so I would produce all of that. So I did a little bit of that. Yes, so it was a lot of fun. It really was. Every day is obviously different because it's Houston, and there's always news in Houston.
When you say producing, I'm curious. This is dumb questions. No, I'm not doing a dumb question.
Yes.
Right, guys? When you say producing, this like location, is that like setting up camera views, angles, or what is it? What is producing an event?
It's a little bit of everything. So it's just making sure that the camera crews are in the right places, making sure that the anchors or the talent knew exactly when they were going to be on camera, what they were going to be saying, making sure that everybody had their press badges. So it's a little bit of everything.
That sounds like a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
it
A
is.
lot of
Well, because I
pressure.
hear the term producing in movies, and I know that the director has a role, but the producers are the ones that really make the magic happen, from what I've heard,
It's a team effort. There's so many people that make a newscast happen. So there's a producer, there's a technical director, there's an editor, there's a shooter, there's a talent. There's so many people that are involved, and I was just one of them. But I did help with a lot of the behind the scenes. And it was awesome. It was a great experience because of everything that I was able to do at the station. I was there for almost 4 years. I did get 3 Emmys out of it. I should have brought my Emmys. I forgot forgot that I was
Yeah.
It's okay. We'll take a selfie
Take a-
later.
yeah,
Another
take a
time.
picture of it
But
and
yes,
send it to
so
us.
out
Like
of those
actual Emmys?
Yes, so they're the Lone Star Emmys, so they're basically something that they're given locally within like the state of
Okay.
Texas. So basically how those Emmys work is you're competing with other broadcast, companies or
Teams.
teams
Wow.
exactly from all around Texas. So maybe we're competing against
We're
someone
gonna have
in
you
Austin.
sign something before you.
I know. We knew her first.
So it was awesome. So it's crazy because my 3 Emmys, obviously, a lot of the times in news, it's a lot of tragic stuff that we have to cover.
Yeah.
Obviously, one of the biggest ones was Harvey, which was huge, for a city, and it really affected everybody. It was such an unfortunate event, but from that unfortunate event, a lot of great things happened.
Right.
And a lot of people came together and helped one
Heroes.
another.
Yes.
Exactly. So we got our Emmy because of our coverage during Harvey. So we were obviously on coverage and covering the news and giving out information to the viewers 24/7 for I think a week straight or something
Yeah.
like
For
that.
like a month too.
Yes, and so we had to be at the station. We couldn't leave, but we were there doing what we are called to do, especially
Right.
as a journalist. So got an Emmy for our coverage during that. The second one was, speaking of things that came out great from Harvey, we obviously won the World Series.
Yeah.
So that one, what I was telling you about the parade.
Okay.
So we got an Emmy for our coverage during the World Series parade here in downtown Houston.
So you feel like I'm trying to keep track of your timeline.
Yes.
So I feel like you left at your peak. Or how did that work? Or what made you come out of that?
So basically, it wasn't necessarily. I got my Emmys, and obviously, getting an Emmy while working at a news station is huge for you. It's a
Right.
great recognition
Yeah.
for you, and it was amazing. But I always tell this to people: after 4 years of doing something, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You always should check in with yourself and be like, are you happy? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? What do you want to do next? What do you want to do within a year? Do you feel like you're growing? Do you need something else? And I felt like I was just doing that checkpoint with myself. It's like, okay, is this what I really want to do, or is this where I see myself in 5 years?
Yeah.
And at the time, I just felt like this wasn't. I felt like I wanted to do more.
Okay.
And obviously, I'm so ridiculously thankful for the opportunity of what I was able to do. A lot of people
Right.
aren't able to get that opportunity. A lot of people still coming out of college try to even get into the news stations,
Yeah.
especially in the market that we're in Houston, and it's so hard. It's not easy. So that was quite the blessing, really.
Touching base on that, I'm curious. I mean, most people have that moment later in their 30s or something. So I'm curious, how old are you, or how old? Not tell me your age. How old were you?
I'll stop him later, girl.
How old are you when you had that checklist in your mind?
Of checking in with myself.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 23. I'm not afraid to say
Dang.
it. Yes, I know. I'm
Good
not.
for you.
I know. Yeah, I'm not afraid to say it.
I'm a dinosaur.
No,
She
but
gets
this
senior
is.
citizen discount.
I wish I had this. I don't have the student discount anymore.
Girl will still carry the ID anyway.
Yes, I know. I'm exposing herself.
I did that too in the movie theaters. Sorry, MC.
15 years, but they still work.
They look at you like,
Crazy.
let's fade it out. Come on.
Yes, so I had the opportunity to start working at Telemundo whenever I was 19. Yeah, when I was 19. Obviously, that's what I'm telling you. It's unreal. It's seriously unreal. It's whatever. It's something that's a blessing from God that I was given that opportunity at 19 years old to be working at a news station.
Yes.
And
rocking
working full
it.
time.
And rocking it though.
Yeah,
Because anybody
that's so
could,
fun.
I mean, not anybody, but you can, most people can say they worked at a great place, but they didn't achieve much.
I went full force. I did everything I could do. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be an assignment editor. Awesome. At some point, I had to be a photographer. I'll be a photographer. At some point, I had to help produce. I'll help produce. I'll help do audio.
You never
whatever.
had that attitude of, oh, it's not my job.
No. It's always like, let's get...
That's awesome.
And that's the thing. That's
Never doubted yourself, it seems.
Exactly. No, and I don't know. I guess it's just something about me. I'm always looking, to better and better and better and keep going and helping people and stuff like that. And so for me, that's just how I
That's
saw
impressive.
my job. Yeah.
Very impressive.
So yes, I guess when touching up on that, on when I had my kind of check-in with myself, I guess it was just that I had already graduated from college. And I don't know why. I just was ready to just, okay, what's next for me and where do I really see myself? That's the bigger question.
Right.
It's always checking in with yourself and seeing, okay, is this where I see myself 5 years from now? And if the answer is no, that's totally cool. Like, I think people get, offended or something like that if they're like, this is just not where I see myself. And if that's the case, that's good. But start exploring, start looking at your options. What else can you, or what are you passionate about? What do you
just
like?
stay stuck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that has always been on my mind of just keep growing. That's the theme of just keep growing.
Is it
and
something
keep
that was
evolving.
instilled by your parents, by your friends, by your environment? What do you think it was? Or is it just you, that you've always been that way?
I've always been that way, but of course, I always say, obviously, my parents. The thing is also that my parents have always been entrepreneurs, basically their whole life. My mom has her own spa. Both of my parents together, they have a reception hall. So it's like the entrepreneurship life has always been around us. And I obviously, I have a lot of creativity. I have a lot of ideas of, oh, we should do this, we should do that, and stuff like that. And obviously,
And you have fun with it. Just talking about it, you have a smile on your face.
Yeah.
You can tell you enjoy it.
Oh, and that's the most important thing, and that's what I always tell people. No matter the position that you're in, regardless of where you are,
Right.
make sure that not only are you happy, but that you're enjoying it. That you're waking up every single day and you're like, yes, let's do it. I'm happy. Let's enjoy it. Let's give it my all. And that's one of the most important things. And so whenever you find something that you're truly passionate about, and not only passionate about, but that you're good at, you just, really find that fire in you, And that's what's so important, especially whenever you're looking for a new job or a new position. And in my case, it just so happened that I felt like I was really passionate about, in this case, marketing, and, the digital world and social media and everything. And so I was like, I kind of just took that chance. Obviously, I'm so thankful for my parents. My parents have always been, entrepreneurs. And I kind of just had that conversation with them, like, you know what, it's been awesome and I've learned so much, but I think I'm ready for something new. And I want to try and be an entrepreneur. I want to have my own business and help, other businesses that I can, bless with my skills and my talents. And we had that conversation, and my dad said, okay, what do you need? How can we make it happen?
Yeah.
And, we made it happen. Obviously, it was very heartbreaking for me, letting go of my job. I remember crying, telling my coworkers and stuff like that, because it was awesome. I not only grew professionally, but I made amazing relationships that I still keep with, keep up with nowadays. But like anything else, it's just always look for things that are going to allow you to keep growing.
Well, the risk, though,
thankfully I have the support of my parents, that technically my parents also were like, okay, we'll start it off and we can technically, you can experiment with us and help us out with our business, help us out, do some videos.
Right.
So since they had their own businesses, I was able to kind of experiment with things. And so I was like, okay, let me do a little video, for my mom, let me do a little, promotional video for the spa, or how can I help my dad and stuff like that. So I was able to kind of, get my feet wet, with my parents. Thankfully, those were people that I was able to experiment with. And then once I felt like I was ready, I was like, okay, awesome. Let me start, looking for other people outside of here. So I really pushed myself.
What is your favorite part of it all? Because you do social media, you do marketing, you do networking.
Everything.
Yeah, you do. And I mean, even down to like the technical writing on some of these social sites.
Yeah.
So which is your favorite part, or where do you feel like, or where's your challenging part? Where's your favorite, like your challenge? What's your favorite easier?
Of course. So I think my favorite part, and it goes down to why I picked the name of my business, Connect Media, is the connecting part. That was something that I was really, really passionate about. And whenever I sat down and I was brainstorming names, and whenever I was talking to people about like, okay, what should I name it? Which seems so surreal, like thinking about that. At one point, I was sitting down trying to brainstorm a name, for a business. And my thing was the word just connect was something that really stuck, with me, because my biggest thing is like, I literally want to connect people to one another.
Right.
I want people to meet one another, and I want to use my skills and my talents to bring people together and help one another out.
Yeah.
So I think that's my favorite part, that through my skills, my talents, and my services, I've been able to connect so many people one another to help each other with their business or their organization or their cause, whatever it is. So the perfect example where we are,
Right.
we're at Calcio Cafe. So basically, Calcio Cafe was one of my first clients.
Okay.
And I was, telling, knowing a little bit about it, before we were getting started. But, right here at this cafe, it was talking about that risk. I literally just sent them a message, and I'm like, hey, y'all look like y'all could use some professional pictures. Do you mind if I take some pictures for you? I'm starting my business.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the owner, Danny, he was like, yes, of course, come on by, let's set it up or whatever.
Yeah.
So whatever, long story short, we, held an event here together. I started running, took pictures for the cafe because he was just starting as well. So talking about that, finding people that are kind of on the same boat as you.
Around what time was this?
This was in May.
Okay.
Yes.
Just this year?
Yes, this was this year. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So I left my job in April and technically officially started my business in May.
Okay.
And I was just full force trying to find people, okay, who can I help out? Who can I do it? Obviously, whenever you start a business, sometimes you have to do a lot of free, free stuff.
To clarify, you quit your job and then started your business.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Wow, it's not even like, oh, let me see if this works, and if it doesn't, I'll quit. No, it's
yeah.
quit and go full
Or like
force.
But what I'm
people-
telling you, thankfully, since I have the support of my parents, I feel like, okay, there's a safety net that,
Yeah.
okay, if anything,
There's
if
no
I was,
pressure or anything
yes,
like that.
exactly. So that was a good thing, is that,
There's still pressure, though.
There
because
is.
at the end of the
Yeah.
day, you don't want to take advantage or, feel bad.
of course, you obviously prepare for it, especially before, you leave, your job, financially you prepare for it. So you save and all
Yeah.
that. It's not just like, get up and go,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
plan it, think about it. It was a few months, of thinking about it, is this the right thing for me and everything. But obviously, as I got closer, because whenever I felt like I was ready for something new, I didn't know what it was that I was going to do.
Right.
So my thing at first, like, look, let me just help out my parents. Let me just figure this out. Let me try to do what I can with them, help their business as I try to figure out what I want to do with myself. And my own thing, And so, it just happened, that I was able to help my parents. And then, a few weeks in, I was like, you know what? I think I can do this.
I was about to ask, did you visibly see the growth with your parents' business because of your...
So the
effect?
crazy thing is that it's crazy because I didn't even get to really help or work with my parents that much. Like, I think it was maybe like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that. I think maybe at most a month, if even. That at some point I sat down with my parents, I'm like, I can't help you anymore because I actually have clients. Yes.
Okay.
So it's crazy how it worked. It really is. And obviously I'm a firm believer, like I have my own faith, and I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, and God puts people in your life at the right time and everything.
I'm sure you still have your parents a little bit. I mean,
Oh, well, of course.
Okay.
Of course, that always happens. Yes. Obviously, if my parents need anything, I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'll do it. We'll figure it out and all of that good stuff. But that's one of the things that, my parents, thankfully, I felt so good, though, and I felt really proud whenever I was able to tell my parents, you know what, I have my own income.
That's
I'm
awesome.
able to have an own income, and, even though I was helping my parents and I was doing stuff for them, and I'll always be in debt with them and everything, but it just feels different when you're able to receive an income and money that doesn't come from your parents, even if you're doing your services for them.
And then just not only that, because you can get an income from having a job, but the fact that you're getting an income from your company.
Exactly.
From your own work, not making somebody else money.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
And that's one of the things too. Obviously,
23. Holy crap! I bet man. That's amazing. And
Technically,
props to
it is, but then that's also impressive because when he bought a house at a young age.
I was about to say, like, I was proud about buying a house at 24. Like,
Yeah, but
starting a
it's the
business.
same thing though.
I need a house next.
Right? It's just.
I turned 24 in December. I don't know if I'll have a house by then.
It's a blessing to have either self-knowledge or self-awareness
Yeah.
at a young age, and that in the either career-wise or financial-wise.
You're always growing, and this is what I always tell people. People are like, oh my gosh, you're only 23 and you're doing all this and that, and I'm doing. Stay in your lane.
Yeah,
This is what I always tell people.
I think that's what people all the time try to do. They try to compare themselves to somebody
No.
else, and it's unfair. 'Cause
Exactly, and
everybody's
that's
different.
exactly. And that's what I always tell people: just stay in your lane. You have your own journey. You will have your own experiences, and your time will come.
Yeah.
If you're working on a business or if you're working on a project, don't compare yourself to the other person. You don't know what they've been through, and they don't know what you've been through either. So it's always so important to just stay in your lane and stay focused, and go after what you're passionate about and what you think your calling is. But it's so important to just, regardless of your age, doesn't matter if you're 23 or if you're 53, doesn't matter. Like, Anything is possible. Like, it's never too late. That's one of the biggest things too. It's never too late.
That started their business? I think it was the Colonel from KFC, like at 60 plus, right?
Oh wow.
Yeah, he was past retirement age, and that's when he started KFC.
Yeah.
There's your perfect example of that. You know, you just, regardless of what it is, doesn't matter your age or where you've been through, what you've been through, the time is now. That's what I always tell people. I was like, you're never going to find the perfect time. Because you're always going to find excuses. So you're like, oh, I want to, you know, whatever. I want to start my own shoe brand or whatever it is that you want to do. But you start creating all these excuses in your head as to why not to do it.
The fear
You're like,
kicks in.
I don't have enough money saved up. Or, oh, I have a kid. Or, oh, I have a house. You start building all of this stuff, and then you talk yourself out of it before, and you set yourself up for failure. That's the thing.
Before you even started.
I know. So that's one of the biggest things that I always tell people. I'm like, look, if you have a calling, if you're really passionate about something, go for it. You know, just go for it and just do it. Stay in your lane about it. But also, yes, just go for it because you're never going to find the right time. It's never the right time. You just have to jump.
See, that's a talk I have with my friends when they find out that they're pregnant and it's a surprise or they weren't, you know, planning.
Of course.
And I'm like, dude, it always works out. I talk like if I have kids too, right? But that's something I would always hear my mother say to her friends. If you really think about it, it's never a right time to have a kid. And you're never going to have enough money because you want to give the kids the best and everything.
Of course.
But at the end of the day, when you do have kids, sorry for my language, but shit just happens. Like, shit just works out, you know? And I feel like that's with anything.
Of course. Yeah, it always just works out.
What's your challenge that you find about in the industry that you serve in?
I guess
I feel like everything just comes easy to you, girl. Like,
no, it's not easy. I guess my biggest challenge right now is that I want to say yes to everything.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, I just, you know, every project that's thrown at you, every client that comes to you, you feel like you want to help everybody.
Right.
And so you just want to say yes, 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 I'll do this. Yes, I'll do this. But you have to be realistic with yourself. Not everybody that comes into your life is meant to stay in your life. You know, a lot of people, and this is what I always preach and I always tell people, every person that comes into your life is either a blessing or a lesson.
Yes.
That's just what it is. That's just what it is.
Ago, yeah.
Exactly. So regardless, if someone comes into your life, whether it's a client or someone professionally or personally, it doesn't matter. They're a blessing or a lesson. They're going to either teach you something or they're going to stay in your life and they're just going to change your world.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's something that is challenging as an entrepreneur because you want to be able to say yes to everybody because it just means more money.
Right.
But then you also have to think about the consequences that, you know, there's not enough money in the world that's going to make you happy. So even if you say yes to 100 people, yes, for real, yes. Sorry about that.
Over income. There you go.
There's never going to be enough money. That's just going to be the thing. You're going to want to say yes to everything, but you have to take care of yourself too.
Right.
Have you had failures or lessons learned from that? Meaning, have you said yes too much at the beginning that's the lesson that you learned, or you already have that in mind to not say yes too much?
I think, especially whenever you start a business, you should say yes to a lot of things.
Okay.
And that I will say, whenever you start your business, you're trying to get out there. You're trying to make a living. You're trying to pay your bills. So you're going to say yes to everything. And sometimes it's not paid. And it happens.
Right.
You know, sometimes you have to do stuff for free.
Yeah.
But it always pays off. I feel like it always pays off. But I just think that after a while, whenever you start looking at your income, if your goal, you know, coming into, you know, as an entrepreneur, a lot of people come in and it's like, I want to make X amount by the end of the year. And I didn't really have that as a goal. You know, obviously, you know, I'm really blessed with my parents where it's like, you know, my dad has always been in business. So, of course, he, you know, whenever we would sit down, you know, he would plan it out, you know, financially, how much do you want to make by the end of the year and stuff like that. And I don't know, just in me, I just was like, my goal isn't to make X amount by the end of the year. That's not what my goal is. My goal is to just be able to pay my bills and have a little extra money to do what makes me happy.
Do you think you had more of a network goal, like a certain amount of contacts or something?
Not even that. Not even. It's crazy because, you know, I guess it's crazy because I don't know if it's not professional or whatever it is, but that's just not what I'm really, like, I guess, obsessed with. Like, I want to make X amount by the end of the year. Or I
just want to make a name for yourself.
just wanna
Is that
look.
it?
I think not only make a name for myself, but I want to just feel like I've made a difference in people's lives.
Right,
Okay.
that's what I was about to say. Like,
So as
you're
long
more
as-
concerned about the quality of what you're putting out.
Exactly. And my thing is like, look, as long as I'm able to pay my bills and I'm able to buy my own stuff and I'm able to travel, and on top of that, I feel like I've helped people.
Okay.
That is my job.
Right.
My goal is not I want to make X amount by the end of the year. I want to have 20 clients. That's not what the goal is. Because to me, I genuinely believe about quantity over quality.
Yeah.
So you can have 500 clients, but if it's not good work with everybody that you're doing, or you're not giving enough attention to them, then what's the point?
Right.
Or if you make $1 million by the end of the year, but you're still not happy, then what's the point?
Right.
So as crazy as it sounds, I genuinely, my goal is just to be able to just
No,
take care of
I-
myself financially and be happy.
I don't
It
think
sounds
it's
crazy.
No, I don't think it's crazy because like
No, but I get it.
You're building a foundation. Like I mentioned to you
Of
before.
course.
I think what you're doing right is you're creating the relationships that are going
course.
to make solid
Of
a
course.
solid foundation for the future, and then
Of course.
you literally won't have to worry about.
And obviously I have to touch up on that. The reason why I know it sounds crazy is also, yes, touching up on the fact that I don't have kids and I don't have like a
Right.
house. So I don't have those bigger responsibilities.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, especially as an entrepreneur, because you're a father, so you know what it takes with all of that. You
Yeah.
know that it takes.
It still
Okay.
hits me sometimes. It's
Ah, you're a dad.
no, the other day I caught her kneecap for the first time. Oh, my god.
Who cried? Her or you?
Oh.
She had a dirty diaper. I was just crying.
Never mind.
That's funny.
Yes, so I think I have to touch up on that, because even though, yes, I was crazy enough to just, let go of my job and start my own business, and the fact that my goal isn't to make a certain amount by the end of the year, I do recognize that I don't have those responsibilities as someone else. So obviously, as you get older and you have more responsibilities, yes, your goals are going to shift, and you
Right.
are going to want to have, okay, I do want to make X amount to be able to pay for the house or
Well,
my kids' college tuition. or
Yeah,
whatever.
I feel like because of your age, it's a luxury
Of
that
course.
you don't have those needs.
Of course.
Because I feel the same way. Like comparing him and I,
Uh-huh.
like I don't have a house. I don't have. I'm not married, but
Mm-hmm.
I take that into consideration when
Of course.
something is needed, and I'm more relaxed,
Mm-hmm.
and he is, or anybody else, and I have to take into consideration. I'm like, come on, bitch. Just because you ain't got shit doesn't mean nobody else wants to have shit.
Of course. No, you always have to take that into consideration for sure.
Right.
So I guess that's one of the biggest things is I do recognize that. And so I'm just, crazy as it sounds, living my best life.
That's right. That's right.
So just working hard, doing what I can, enjoying my life, trying to travel a lot, and just really take it all in. The freedom.
I saw
you know?
that today. You mentioned that you're going to San Francisco.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's one of, actually, I guess if we're talking about anything of goals and everything, of course, yes, making sure that my business is running, that I have money to pay my bills, but also making sure that I travel, that I take advantage, and that I'm able, to get out there. And thankfully, I've been able to. Thankfully, I've been able to. Where this year I was able to go to Costa Rica. Costa Rica was one of my first biggest trips that I was able to make after taking that jump as an entrepreneur.
Nice.
So that was a huge accomplishment for me, and where I felt like I had to sit back and realize this is happening.
Right.
Cool.
I'm doing my own trip to Costa Rica with my grandma.
That's awesome.
And I paid for everything myself and for my grandma.
That
Right.
is
I was
awesome.
able to afford that. Like, what?
Yeah.
After, or because a lot of people think that entrepreneurs don't have a real job. So I've gotten that, before, whenever I quit and whenever I started my business, a lot of people thought that I was unemployed, even though I'm like, no, it is a job, being an
absolutely.
entrepreneur.
It's more of a job.
It is, because like a lot of people say, you're the CEO, you're the janitor,
Yeah,
you're the
at a job,
executive
people
assistant.
clock out. You can't
Yes.
clock out. There's no such thing as clocking out.
Literally going home tonight and still working.
Yeah.
So that was crazy to me. I think that was one of my biggest accomplishments, is being able to, okay, I've worked so hard for like the past 3-4 months to get to where I'm at, and now it's time to take a little bit of a break.
Okay, so you didn't touch the laptop at all in Costa Rica?
I still had to work. But it goes with being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like, you chose this life. Thankfully, though, the kind of job that I have, as long as I have Wi-Fi, I can work.
Yeah.
True.
So, keeping on that, do you have a list or a bucket list of traveling spots that you want to visit?
I have so many.
Yeah.
I really do have so many, but also I have to keep it. So my thing was like, okay, I want to go somewhere at least once a month. Even if it's just a 4-day weekend trip or whatever, just try to go somewhere. Last year I went to Hawaii, to Maui. I'm obsessed with Hawaii. Like I cannot. I love the beach. The beach is my calling. I love it so much, which is why I went to Costa Rica. Obviously, that was magical. So I do want to go explore all of the islands in Hawaii. I love snorkeling. I love it so much.
I gotta get you in contact. Sorry, with what's the name?
That lives out there.
Yeah, Landis. Joshua Landis. He's a high school friend of ours who actually, and that would be awesome if one day we get to travel to Hawaii with our podcast and interview.
Hello, sponsor.
So, well, he's a buddy of ours who went to high school with us, and he traveled to Hawaii. And my understanding is he traveled, and when he got there, he's like, what am I going to go back for? So he stayed, and then he started his own business over there, and now he's an awesome photographer to the point that I think one of his photographs got into the Smithsonian in DC. Like that kind of caliber of photography.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, talking about taking a risk, talking about, listening to yourself, listening to
who says that? I'm saying.
your heart, literally listening to your heart.
Because he didn't even study for it. It was just on the whim.
Yeah.
Take pictures
And things just happen.
Yeah.
So, I've actually always wanted to leave Houston. So maybe down the line I can be able to leave Houston and just have not a new life, but just explore more. Obviously it's the same thing. I'm young and I don't have kids, and I've always wanted to, I love Houston. I really do. But to me, actually, whenever I was going to go to college, whenever I was applying for colleges, I applied to so many colleges in California. I swore, I didn't even touch up on that. While I was in high school, I did theater and dance. So have you seen a commercial out there?
Oh, yeah. Girl.
South Texas Dental?
You need to sign up.
Yeah.
It was
we gotta
me.
look that up on YouTube.
Yes. Yeah. No, I can send you the link.
We'll find, you'll see
You can put it in there.
Next to the Emmy Awards.
Yeah.
So it's crazy because while I was in high school, I did theater and dance. So I loved acting. And at that time, I swore I was going to be an actress. My senior year of high school, it's whenever I started to do more on-camera stuff.
Okay.
So that's whenever and probably the biggest one was my commercial that I did with South Texas Dental. That was surreal to see on TV myself.
Yeah.
And so that's why I had always been looking for colleges in California. I was like, I wanted to go to California so bad, and I loved LA and this and that. So I applied to so many colleges over there, and I got accepted. It was crazy because I applied to, I think, like 8 colleges, and I got accepted to Pepperdine, which is in Malibu, and University of Houston. Those were the only 2 that I got accepted to.
Oh, wow.
So it was crazy of like, you either stay in Houston or you go to Malibu.
Yeah.
But it was at that time is whenever I was like, you have those check-ins with yourself.
Yeah.
And same thing, I think it goes back to with my parents that they asked us like, okay, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I told them like, look, I love acting and I love dancing, but I don't think this fulfills me. I don't think this is going to be my career.
Wow.
I need to find something else.
Yeah.
And my dad is actually the one that said, well, you're so comfortable on camera. Why don't you try being a reporter? So, you're used to being on camera, except being a reporter is different than acting because you're not going to be acting. You're going to be giving out useful information to people in the city. And I was like, you know what? You're right. That makes total sense why I would do that.
I think he was just trying to keep you here.
Well, not
blame
even,
him.
no, but not even that. I was like, I actually applied to college, declared that that's what I was going to study, communications.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to do. But whenever I was looking at my 2 options, obviously financially, it just made sense to go to U of H. I had all my connections here. It's obviously a lot cheaper.
In-state tuition, or
And
out-of-state
everything,
tuition
yeah,
is like
it's
killer out there.
Exactly. So I ended up going
Housing, oh my goodness, yeah, I can imagine.
So I ended up going to U of H, but same thing. Everything happens for a reason, and if I didn't go to U of H, I probably wouldn't be literally sitting here because who knows where I would be.
The cool thing about your industry is that, like you said, all you need is Wi-Fi, so you could have your potential clients from everywhere. Really.
Exactly.
Do you have outside of Houston?
I don't, but hopefully that's my goal within a year that I'm
That's
able to
great.
do that. That would be
Girl,
awesome.
you have it with under a year.
Stop. I know.
I'm serious.
I'm really excited. But it's
you
so
started
hard.
May, June, July, August.
Yeah.
This is not even half a year, and look how much you've done.
I know, and I'm so excited, but I think that's one of the hard things that with the clients and the people that I work with, I create awesome relationships. and I just think about like, oh, but I'm not gonna be able to see them. I'm not gonna be able, to like hang out with them and stuff like that. So building also that emotional connection that I built with these people, because I built personal relationships.
I mean, again, the internet. I mean, that connects everything. You can have video conferences, and
but it's different for her because I feel like with her, part of her job is to get to know not only the brand but the person. Of course. That way she can.
I get it.
Was it raise them, raise her brand, like market her brand a little better. She can't just go in and say, oh, this is what you do, this is what you got, okay, that's it.
Yeah. So, we'll see. I'm a firm believer, of my faith, and, one of the biggest things, I'm like, you know what, if this is something that God wants for me and He equips me with the right clients that, are willing to support me, regardless of where I am, then I'd be more than happy to. I'm really open to it.
What industry do you like?
What do you mean?
I mean,
clients that you what's your favorite industry that you work with?
Small businesses.
Okay. But what niche? Like, for example, photography, video, or
like my service, my
coffee,
favorite.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I don't know because I've had so many different ones.
It's just when I think about you, like media, like was it just any media firm group or networking?
Of course.
You really touch base with anything that's business.
Yes. And that's one of the things that what we talked about. It's like
like any legal stuff. If it's a business, right? I mean,
well, that's the thing that you always have to know your brand. You have to know what you stand for. You have to understand your values. So always as a business, I think you need to check in with yourself. Be like, okay, what do I believe in? What do I not believe in? Okay. Because at the end of the day, your clients are a reflection of you, and you're a reflection of your clients.
Right.
So have you said no to clients because they don't fit your?
Not necessarily. I've said no to certain people that I feel like haven't necessarily respected my work. So I think there is a lot of people out there, especially whenever you're a small business and anything that has to do with media. A lot of people, especially nowadays, because nowadays we have our phones.
Yeah.
So there's so many photographers in the world. Like you said, your friend is a photographer. So there's so many photographers in the world, and there's so many people that do video too. And especially nowadays that we have a phone that takes photo and video, like, people don't really think of the photographers or the videographers as highly, and so you always have to also think about your worth. Like, what is your value, what is your worth? So regardless of what you're selling, whether it's a product or a service, I think you need to think about what is my worth and what does my experience bring to the table. And if there are those people that maybe say, you know what, no, how about you charge me this much? No. You've got to respect my work. I've worked my way up here. These are my contacts. This is my experience. And I think I saw a quote on Instagram at some point that, whenever you pay me, you're not paying, or like, for example, if I do a job in 10 minutes, you're not paying me for those 10 minutes. You're paying me for the years that it took me to be able to do that in 10 minutes. So that's what's something that a lot of the times, and I always encourage people, whenever you're going to support a small business, or even not just a small business, it can be a corporate company, you have to understand that. What did it take for that person to be able to do it within that certain amount of time,
It goes along with the saying, you get what you pay for. I mean, if you go and pay for a very economical type service, that's what you're going to get back. But in the case, when you're saying you're creating your profile to the point where people know that the quality, even if it takes you 2 seconds or 5 minutes to create a very engaging post.
Of course.
You've worked so long to be able to get
and reading the caption and making sure the space looks right and read the correct emojis and the correct hashtags and the correct people to tag. It's a whole job. It's a whole job.
I'm supposed to be doing that. I don't know how you do it. I'm serious. Like,
it's one of those things that I think every small business has to adopt and learn.
Of course, and that's one of the things. I think one of my things was I was seeing that trend of, like, obviously social media plays a huge role in our society, and especially with small businesses to get the word out about what they provide.
That's the first point of contact for a lot of
people. But the business owners don't have the time to post.
Right.
They're so busy doing the administration stuff.
Maybe it's not even the time, it's just the naivety of it. We don't.
That or the creativity.
Creativity,
because whenever your post is not about mindlessly posting, it's about being creative, writing the correct caption and making sure that it looks, a certain way,
visually attractive,
So that's a lot. There's a lot of things that go into it, and I just found a passion for it, and I saw the benefit of it, especially helping a lot of businesses and how a lot of people connect through, social media as well.
I guess you use the word connect. connect with you.
I always do that.
That's good.
No,
that's
that's
your brand,
absolutely
though.
good,
What I'm
Yeah.
passionate about. As crazy as it sounds, and even regardless, at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's literally about connecting my clients with their audience.
Yeah.
Or connecting my clients with their clients, and my clients with one another. And
Connecting your clients to the world, really.
Exactly.
Because that's what you're doing.
And getting them in touch with that side, so as well as many business owners are too scared to get on social, like, oh, I'm too scared, you know.
See, that's the thing. Like, to me, it's mind blowing. I would, girl, I feel like if I was your sister or your mom, I'd be like, connect with people in Chicago. Connect with people. If you want to go to California, connect with those people because you don't
You're gonna
have
make me
to.
cry.
That's serious though, because like you said it yourself. You only need Wi-Fi,
Of course.
and you're good at what you do. You connect people.
Stop! You're gonna get me so emotional. I cannot.
Drink some more. And I feel like if you can connect with someone in LA that you have the southern thing to you, you're professional, you know what you're doing, you have your experience with you. Tell them, girl, my 3 Emmys and my commercial will tell you enough about me.
Here's my commercial.
Exactly, and then you've already gotten a client by networking.
Of
You
course.
have 10 in the month.
Of course.
And then it'll be easier for you to,
You know what, and that's one of the biggest things. We'll see, where it takes me. I guess one of the biggest things. There's so many other things that I also would like to do and experiment with. And one of the biggest things, and I don't know. I don't know if it's because of that obsession of, like, for example, I told myself, okay, I want to at least turn 1 year with my business. Because the thing is, since everything happens so fast, I didn't even throw a launch party or grand opening or nothing like that. I know, not yet.
Okay.
But I
We're
just
so there.
I just went for it. I just did it, and it just happened. I made a post, obviously, on social media announcing it. I had to.
Okay.
But that was kind of my grand opening.
Wait. What was the grand opening?
No, I did. I haven't had one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I kind of just posted. I'm like, hey, I'm starting this. If y'all have any possible clients.
Okay.
But yeah, I never really did a grand opening. I never really did a party. Thankfully, I was blessed that I was just given work.
Right.
And then I just got so cut into the work and helping other businesses that I just didn't have time, to do it for me.
It's awesome because I find it so fun. And the network that I found you in, or he found you in, which was the blogging. It's just a very tight network, and I feel like you go to one event and you're already meeting 5 other clients.
You just never know.
Not that you do, but the opportunities are there.
Of course.
And so for someone like you with your, just personality, I want to say what's the word I'm looking for? Your natural want to just reach out.
Of course. And I'm not afraid. I guess that's one of the things that I always tell people when we talk about.
I thought you were older, not because you look older, but because of your confidence. I'm saying.
Because I did my hair.
I have to clear up. It's not because it was just your confidence, the way you carry yourself. You're so sure of yourself.
You have to. You are your biggest commercial.
True.
That's what I always tell people.
Yeah.
So there's no one that's going to advocate for yourself better than yourself.
Yeah.
So you always have to be out there. You have to be willing to get out there and meet people and introduce yourself, and don't. And this is what I always tell people: don't wait for opportunities. Create them. Don't wait for the door to open. Go knock. Go do it. And what we talked about. Maybe you reach out to 10 people. One of them is gonna say yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
You never know, but that's what I always tell people. Just try it. You won't know until you try.
That's what we touched base on with Patty. Patty tells all.
Of course.
And it's funny enough, and I mentioned it in one of the posts. That's actually how we scored these guys.
Of course, there we
Austin
go.
Eastsiders, she literally talked about it, and I was reviewing the editing, and I saw it, and I was like, all right, shot a message and got in contact.
That's perfect. Well, I know that your wife was talking about how you were able to get into the JJ Watt, the charity classic.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And it's all about.
I looked
He
like
was
a little.
fangirling more than she was.
Yeah, I was so cheesing, and it's like my wife is like,
Honey,
no,
this is my business. He's like, are you sure? Where's your confidence?
No, and it was funny too because we were setting up. It was before the park opened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's over there doing. He does his own social media, by the way. He's taking pictures of the stuff, and so. My wife, she's like, oh, let's go to this store. Not telling me he is right there. I didn't see it. I'm just getting ready, and we're going back to where we're going. And so we go into the little makeshift shop, and she stops and she goes over here, and I'm just looking around, and all of a sudden I see him.
You died.
I couldn't. I was like,
Died.
I felt like so starstruck, and
like,
I didn't say anything. Yeah, it's like, there was no way that he didn't notice me going, it's him.
I'm sure he's used to it by now.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, that's another fan girl. I'm used to it by now.
I need something heavier than that. Something harder.
Draw your pain.
But yeah, I guess that's one of the biggest things. Don't be afraid. Just reach out.
Yeah.
You know, if I don't know, whatever it is that it's in your heart, or that you really want to connect with somebody, or you want to meet them, you never know. That's the power of social media.
Absolutely.
That's the power of the DMs. You know, just be able to just send a message and offer. You know, offer and get out there. What can I do for you? How can I help? And like I said, sometimes you'll do a lot of free work and all of that good stuff, but just go for
create
it.
a network,
Exactly.
and that's actually kind of how we got into the whole network with the bloggers, and the bloggers are so receptive. Like,
of course.
And it's funny because we did an event for Patty,
course,
when I walked in, 2 or 3 of the girls like, oh, how's the baby? And I'm like, who? Who are these people? How do they know?
They're keeping up with you.
Well, it's because I put some of the stuff on social media. So again, they're so open, so welcoming. You know,
of course.
Receptive.
Exactly. And especially in the small business community, as small businesses, you have to understand that you have to have each other's back, and you have to help one another out. And I always tell people, you know, I'll help you out today, and I know down the line maybe one day you'll help me.
And that's the beautiful thing about this. Like, since we've started this, we thought we were just gonna, you know, our first year was gonna be mostly our friends, our high school network,
Of course.
We already knew.
Of course.
But we haven't even hit a year, and we've extended ourselves so much.
Yeah.
And it's been by each guest has taught us something new.
Of course.
And one of the most important things is the connections.
Yeah.
You meet one, there's somebody
You need
else.
to meet someone else.
Yeah, and it just grows exponentially.
Of course.
And to me, it's so beautiful, because it's like, we're not getting paid for, you know, certain things, or like I said, you do a lot of free things.
Of course.
But at the same time, it's rewarding in its own self.
Yeah, and you inspire one another. That's the thing. I'm sure y'all get inspired by the people that you interview,
Every time.
and then the people that are watching are like, wow, that person really inspired me. Or you just never know who you're gonna touch, and who you're gonna, you know, reach out to, or who you're gonna resonate with, and all of that good stuff. So I think that's always really important, is just putting yourself out there. You never know. And obviously, I think for you too, you know, you were giving this gift and this talent and this opportunity to, you know, do.
And our dashing good looks.
Exactly. It's the plus.
Girl, it's a drink.
plus.
I look pretty when I'm drunk.
So that's one of the biggest things too, is just, you know, listening. I'm sure, you know, for you guys, you know, starting this, it's like any entrepreneur. Even though obviously, yes, you obviously are getting paid or whatever, but this is technically your own little, you know, business in a way. And I'm sure at some point you sat down and you thought about this. You're like, let's do it. And there's so many people that think about things, but they don't do it.
Right. And I think it's parallel as far as the structure of like what you're doing with connecting people.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to create, something where maybe there's somebody that's watching that wants to start into marketing.
Of course.
And they don't know how to start, or they think that, I want to study to acting.
Of course.
But you ended up in,
Yes.
And it happens. That's what I always tell people. Like, you may have something in mind, but for me, at least me personally, how I see things is like, you know, God probably has something way bigger and better that you were thinking about.
Right.
And on top of that too is just being open. Just, you know, you never know who you're gonna meet. And also very important, especially, you know, as a small business, is there's a lot of small businesses and there's a lot of corporations, and there is room for everyone.
Right.
True.
And
Especially
that's one
in a
of the
city like here. Sorry.
Especially, I mean, trust me, like I was telling you, there's so many photographers, there's so many videographers, there's so many people that do marketing and PR. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't, just because, but there's already someone doing something like that. If you are called to do it, or if you feel that purpose within you, it's because you may do something similar, but it's going to be different.
Right. It's your voice.
Exactly.
Nobody has your voice.
Exactly. Or like, what makes you stand out?
Yeah, everybody can take the picture of that one item, but everybody's picture is going to look different somehow.
Exactly. And that's something that's really important, that, you know, if you feel like you're called to do something, don't, you know, get, I don't know, don't hold yourself back thinking there's already so many people that are doing it. Never mind, I'm not going to do it anymore.
Right.
Because because chances are everyone's thinking the same way and then nobody does anything.
Right.
It's like the same thing. I mean, you could talk like, oh, but there's already so many people, doing something like this. Who cares? Let's see how we can make it different.
Speaking on that, how is the industry of marketing? Like, do you run across other agencies or other?
Yeah.
And how does that interaction happen?
I mean,
Side eye.
No, I tell you, I'm a firm believer of just staying in your lane and just keep doing your own thing. And everybody has a different audience. I haven't run into a lot of people that do specifically what I'm doing, like running the social media accounts. But obviously, I do run into a lot of people doing photography and video. Obviously, there's a lot of people that do event coordination as well. But I don't know. I guess the only way I can see it is there's literally room for everyone because everyone has a different audience, and everybody has a different brand. And like I said, not everyone in the world is or can be your client.
Right.
You just have to find those people that you click with, that you feel that you can really help, and vice versa.
Right.
So,
How many social media accounts do you handle right now at the moment? Actively.
Actively, 1, 2, 3, 4,
Man.
5.
We struggle with it too. Boy, I got two.
Man, I'm
She
struggling with my
struggles with the one.
personal, which I don't do anything.
But you know what?
I'm gonna get there.
Yes, no, and that's the thing. It's
Please be patient with me.
I know, and that's the thing that a lot of the times, it's making the time.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I'm gonna make the time to go to the gym. Awesome. Make the time to post.
Yeah.
Make the time to sit down and play. I always tell people it's like anything. It's like an appointment.
Have you ever taught that or sat down and maybe do like a workshop?
I actually haven't, but I'm in the process of trying to help people do that. So hopefully down the line, if y'all want to come to my workshop, I'll announce it on my social media, but I'm in the process that I would like to do that. One of my clients is Keller Williams, and so I actually host social media classes. I host social media classes at their offices to help, for example, agents. Oh, nice. So I work for the office down in Spring Cypress. And that's one of the things that, for example, with them, perfect example, that social media is your biggest commercial for your business. Yes. So as agents, for example, for them, obviously they want to sell their homes, but there's so many agents. Yeah. There's so many houses. How do you stand out? How are you different? And one of the great things, especially for people like Keller Williams, is that they allow their agents, or they give the agents all the technology and the tools to up their business game, their real estate game. I say game, so informal, their real estate business. But it's their game. And obviously I had the awesome opportunity that obviously they're one of my clients, so I go there twice a month and I literally teach the agents social media. So I will do a beginner class and an advanced class every single month, and we sit there with all the agents. And for example, last week we sat down and we all created Facebook business pages. A lot of agents, especially new ones, or a lot of people that aren't really on Facebook, I walk them through it. Let's set up your business page. Let's set up your cover photo. Let's set up your instant response. Let's invite all of your friends to like the page. And so little stuff like that, showing them really cool apps to create, engaging content and all of that good stuff. So I've been able to do that, and now, slowly I've been able to offer, one-on-one, marketing consultations where I'll sit down with different businesses and okay, let's look at your marketing materials, let's look at how you're engaging with people, and how can we better,
Yeah.
And that's one of the things too, that I always look at things and I'm like, okay, how can we make this better? How can we, take it to the next level? And that's one of the things that I really feel passionate about, is helping businesses.
Right.
And a lot of the times people are like, well, you can't just sit down and enjoy it. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not because I don't think that you're good enough, but I think that you can do more.
Right.
Let's do more,
I see what you mean.
So hopefully down the line, maybe soon I can do some sort of workshop,
Yeah.
What are the...
Touching base on what you just said, how can people reach you? How can people see your work?
Literally, you can reach me through anything.
Yeah. Okay.
So obviously my phone, email, obviously social media. I'm really out there. Obviously I have a lot of events that I promote or host, or even in person. Sometimes usually even in person is even better.
Okay.
Yeah.
You are better in person.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And I'm like, hey, you're your own commercial.
How long were you waiting to say that?
Okay, because first of all, he showed me your Instagram. I was like, oh, está bonita. Okay, like, very nice visual.
Yeah.
But then when I met you, you blew me away. Like I said, your confidence.
Yeah.
You were just so open. So I'm very impressed with you.
I love, obviously that's one of the biggest things, is that especially with your clients, you've got to make that quality time of meeting them in person,
Right.
and, chatting and brainstorming and all of that good stuff.
And just your energy too, just like she touched on first off, is You're very positive, always upbeat.
Yes.
and
You
it's
have to.
Awesome.
You have to.
I met you at Patty's for the
Of
first
course,
time
yeah.
at her charity event.
Yes.
And I mean, it was hot. I was already on my way out. I'm like, and
Everybody else is
and I'm like,
miserable.
hey, like, I didn't mean to bother you. And you turn around, hey, with the big old smile. I was like, oh, I'm staying here 10 more minutes. I melted. Okay.
Yes.
But
You have to stay positive. You know, there's so much negativity, and you know, there's always going to be people that doubt you and all of that.
But
good
it's
stuff,
easier for
but-
some than others, and
Oh,
I feel like
yeah,
it just
of
comes
course.
very natural to
Yes,
you.
yes, yes,
Because to other people, they can come off as very happy, but you can kind of tell that genuinity is not exactly all there.
Of course.
You know, or
One thing too that touching on what you just
course.
said is you have that confidence about you, but it's not arrogance.
Yeah.
Because arrogance can turn people off.
Oh, yeah, of
completely.
course, of course.
Where if you're
Yeah.
just to the point where you're just seeing like you're full of it.
Of course.
You don't want to deal with it.
Of course.
which can be me sometimes.
she
But okay, on Instagram.
She wants to play mean, but she's adorable.
wants to be the bad one.
Like you're as
Let me
fierce,
keep
you're as
drinking.
fierce as a basket of kittens.
On Instagram, Connect Media Firm.
Yes.
And it's, I'm going to spell it out for everybody. CONNECTMEDIAGROUP. And on Facebook, it would be the same thing.
Well, it's firm, not group. You said GRU.
You have been disqualified from the spelling bee.
FIRM. Firm. It's okay. We forgive her. It's fine. No worries. But yes,
my cup.
How
on
many?
Instagram, on Facebook.
This is her second bottle. That's what it was.
Wow. Is that what it is? It's okay. We forgive her.
Luckily, we can edit this, but I'm not going to.
That's me. Connect Media Firm.
Yes.
And it spelled group. Is that what it is? Okay.
I know.
So how did you meet Daniel anyway?
Daniel. Literally, I just sent them a message.
Yeah, that's the one that she said that she
Yes,
messaged. Like Daniel
yes.
was
Yeah,
all
but
over
did you
this
drive
place.
by and you saw the new place? Because this is a brand new place.
So, well, basically what happened is that I had one of my friends, Karina, she's the owner of Power Latina Shop, so she sells really beautiful handmade skirts. And and basically, so she was like, hey, let's meet, let's brainstorm, let's see what we can do together. I'm like, okay, perfect. And she's like, hey, let's meet here at this coffee shop. I'm like, oh, okay, awesome, cool. So we met here and we brainstormed and we were talking about everything that we could possibly work on together. And then I was like, oh wow, this is really cute. I really like the vibes and everything. And then literally like the next day, I was like going through their Instagram, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe they would want some pictures. And that at the time, I was just starting obviously my business. And so I was like, hey, do you think you need some professional pictures, for your coffee shop, for your Instagram? He's like, yeah, honestly, yeah. Come on by, let's talk. Let's see what we can do, whatever. So then I came by and we chatted and we brainstormed, and then obviously at the time he was like, yes, obviously I do need pictures, and obviously I would actually like to host an event here, like to bring some attention on here. So what we're talking about, the bloggers and the influencers,
Yes.
really being out there and helping other businesses.
Right.
So that's what we did. We did a blogger influencer event right here at the coffee shop.
Sweet.
Yes, so we did a workout outside in the soccer fields, and then inside we had some free coffee so the girls can come out, check it out, and really get the word out about the coffee shop. And then obviously while I was here, I met a lot of people, and I connected a lot of people with Daniel, and
Right.
from there it just kind of took on. And then for a few months I obviously was able to run the coffee shop's Instagram account, took pictures and all that good stuff. So it's just crazy.
That's
it's
awesome.
just crazy, but that's a perfect example of just knock on the door.
Yeah.
You never know. Maybe they'll open, maybe they won't, but if they
what's
do,
the
you
worst
never
they
know.
can say is no, okay, on to the next.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's something that you always want to keep in mind, is just being able to say, put yourself out there.
Right.
Have that confidence. Be able to go knock and offer. You never know.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah.
Exactly. You just never know. You never know.
That's true. Something we were talking about before our little break
Yeah.
was my question on prices,
Of
pricing,
course.
only because I know in your industry, it's not really like you don't have like your set prices on a website.
Of course.
And it can't be and it shouldn't.
Of course.
So how do you mentally prepare for something to bring to the to your client?
So I think as a small business, and what we were talking about is that every business has a budget. Everyone has a budget of like what you're willing to spend on, whether it's marketing, whether it's events, whether it's branding, equipment, whatever it is. And that's what I always try to keep in mind, is that the people that I work with in my audience, small businesses, they have a budget.
Right.
And so I'm the type of person that I don't like to have set prices, because having a set price is easy to be able to just turn away people, or people would be like, oh, no thanks.
Yeah.
Instead, I like to keep an open door and just be like, okay, I get it, this is what you want. How about you tell me what your budget is for this particular service that you have in mind? And whenever you give me that budget, I can tell you what I think I can do with that.
Right.
You know? I don't like to say, this is how much I charge and this is what you're going to get. No, because then it can easily turn off people and be like, well, I just don't have that money.
Right.
And I like to be considerate and just be like, okay, you know what? No. You know, I want to listen to you and I want to be able to help you. And what we were talking about, you know, a lot of the small businesses don't have, you know, a budget of a corporate company for marketing.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't be able to have access to those services. And that's, I think, where I come in and where I can sit down and be like, okay, you tell me what your budget is and we can figure something out. You know, maybe if you don't have this much and you have that much, we can still offer this service. It won't be to that certain extent or scale, but we can tone it down to still kind of find a happy medium, you know?
Okay. That's good. Have you had any nightmares or bad stories when it comes to pricing? You know,
not necessarily.
Lessons learned, maybe?
Lessons learned. I think one of the biggest things is always, you know, especially whenever you work in a corporate company, you're used to getting your paycheck every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Whenever you have your own business, it doesn't work that way.
Right.
Sometimes the paycheck comes, you know, in a month. Sometimes it comes in 15 days. Sometimes it comes, you know, that same day. It all really just depends on the client. I have had an instance, you know, where we agreed on something and we were going to do a service, and I learned my lesson that, you know, you should always ask for half up front. If not, you know, they just won't respond or all of that good stuff.
I've heard of that horror story too with photographers too.
Yeah, it happens.
One of the hosts that we had,
Of course.
she got burned
Yeah.
like that. Did all the
And
work,
it happens.
did all editing.
It's unfortunate, you know, but you know, it's, you know, you learn what I talk about. Everything's either a blessing or a lesson, whether it's professionally or personally, and you just learn from it. Like, you know what? It sucks, the situation and what happened, but okay, I learned from it. Now I'm gonna do my pricing.
It's not
this
going to
way.
happen
Right.
again.
Exactly.
and it didn't kill you from continuing to pursue
Of course
that
not.
career.
If anything, you just add it to your portfolio.
You know, it is. You just
Yeah.
it's perspective. It's how you look at things. It's like
Yeah.
anything in life. You know, if something doesn't, you know, happen the way you wanted it to happen, and you know what, that's fine. I'm gonna, like, for me, you know, I wasn't able to go to Pepperdine in Malibu, but I was like, you know what, that's fine. I'm gonna make the most of it out of it here at U of H, and I'm gonna get involved, and I'm gonna be part of the organizations, and I got a full-time job out
I
of
just
it.
remembered Lisa, Touch of Artistry. She went to U of H.
Yeah.
That's the thing, that especially whenever you live here in Houston, you always shy away from wanting to go to U of H. You're like, oh, everyone goes to U of H. Yeah, I want to go somewhere else.
It's a great school.
It's an amazing school. It's so diverse. There's so many people that come from out of the state to come
That's
to U of H.
exactly what I was going to say. You got people that come here for it.
Whenever I was at U of H, I lived my first year in the dorms in there, and my roommate was from New Jersey.
Oh,
she
wow.
literally was in New Jersey and came to Houston.
What would
to
have been
University of
ironic is
Houston.
if somebody from Malibu came here.
And they were my roommate. I was like, what are you? You would.
That's
Do you not know what you have to do?
I went to San Antonio for school, and my roommate was also from Houston. So it's funny. I'm like,
You
did
just
they do
never
it on
know. And then
purpose?
I know. And so, well, that was one of the cool things. Even though I wasn't able to leave out of state, I still have that experience of living in the dorms, meeting people, getting involved. So it's like anything. It's, you know, in school, at your job, whatever you're doing, get out there, introduce yourself, meet people, get involved, find organizations, you know, find networks that you want to be a part of, find the people that are either in the same mindset as you or want the same things that you want in life. So that way you're surrounded by it and you kind of just bring it to life.
I'm curious, and this question just came into my head. Like, as positive as you are, how do you deal with negativity and negative people?
I pray about it.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
I really,
in that moment,
I honestly, I don't know. I guess
Separate yourself from it.
I don't know. I guess I've had, obviously, there's always going to be negative people or people that are not going to like you or whatever. But honestly, I don't know. I guess whenever it all comes, your strength comes within, like, your self-confidence and your self-love. And whenever you love yourself and you're confident in what you bring to the table and everything, I don't know, you know, I don't know what to tell people. And like, you know what? Awesome, great, or whatever. I don't know. I meditate, I do yoga, and I go to church, and I just try my hardest to just keep surrounding myself with the right people. And the moment I see like a little glimpse of negativity or someone that doesn't respect me or someone that I'm like, thank you for your time, moving on, you know. And it's fine. We're not here on this earth. We're not meant to, you know, be liked by everyone.
Please everyone.
You can't. You just absolutely can't. But you do have that power to be able to step away from every situation, and instead of engaging or instead of contributing, just be like looking at the situation, a situation, acknowledging it, and be like, you know what, I'm stepping away. I'm glad that we met, and I thank you, you know, for everything you've done for me. But I think it's best that we don't keep moving forward with anything, whether it's professionally or personally, you know. And it takes a very strong person to be able to bite your tongue and walk away. But sometimes that's the best thing to do. Sometimes that's what's best. Just don't say anything. Just move on with your life. And sometimes they hate it even more.
Yeah, but it's more on them than on
exactly.
you. That's
and
what I would.
The world, I don't know. I always say the world is so huge. There's so much to do. There's so much that you can contribute to. Like, why do you want to spend time, you know, feeding into bad stuff or, you know, talking mess about people or whatever. You know, if someone isn't, you know, nice to you, doesn't mean that the other people don't have to like them. It doesn't really matter. You know, you just stay focused on yourself. But you can't control what happens to you, and you can't control how people are going to treat you. That's what I tell people. But the one thing you have control over is yourself. And as long as you have that self-confidence, that self-esteem, that self-love, that self-care, that's where your power lies. You have power over yourself, and you're not going to let other people, you know, have power over you. And that's something that you need, especially as an entrepreneur. You have to have thick skin. You have to be confident in not only your work, but in yourself too. You know, like, why should I work with you? Why should I trust you with my business? Why should I give you money? You know, kind of thing.
That's awesome. And it goes back to what you were talking about earlier, like knowing your worth and are you worth my time? As arrogant as that might sound, but it just goes back to your confidence.
And it's not about being arrogant, but it's the confidence. And understanding like, hey, you don't know what I've been through to be able to get here. And it's fine. I don't have to sit here and convince you about it. The right people are going to come into my life.
You can't pour my cereal. You don't know my life.
Well, and that's just what it is. A lot of people, they don't know what it takes, and it's fine. You know, and it happens. There's a lot of times I've met a lot of people like, I love what you're doing, and I want, you know, to hear about your services and this and that. I'm like, awesome. This and that. It doesn't work out. It's fine. You don't chase people or anything. You know, when the time is right, and we will work together.
They might come back and say, hey,
they come back later.
That was
I
out
realize.
of reach, but now
I can do it. So I always, you know, if it doesn't work out the first time, or if you lose a client or something like that, something better is in the horizon. You know, when, you know, literally what they say, like, every end is a new beginning.
So I'm guessing that you like social psychology or something. I mean, to be able to tap into social media, I think you would have to.
I get. What do you mean by like that?
Like, I mean, you have to be able to tap into other people's minds to be able to not manipulate,
sociology
but it's just really understanding people. And I think honestly, my background in acting, with acting comes a lot of people watching. So you literally just sit there and just look at people. It sounds creepy, but you're just sitting there and you're analyzing people. Like, oh, how do they pick up your coffee?
You're getting to know your audience, which is important to a writer, to an actress, or anybody involved in any kind of social experience.
And what really happens is, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's called method acting. I forgot, it's been years. But you know, you hear about a lot of actresses and actors doing that, where they say, for example, you know, I'm going to play this role in this movie. I'm going to literally go live that life for a month or something to truly understand and get into that character. And so that's very powerful. You know, I forgot what movie it was, but you know, if you're going to, you know, play a cancer patient, you know, go into the hospitals, interact with those people, understand. You're never going to understand what they're going through. But you put yourself out there to try to understand, because you also want to respect, you know, the situation. And whenever you're an actor, you want to do your best possible to show what it really is like, and to show that pain and that expression in everything that you do. So that's why the people watching is very important, especially as being an actor and actress. And I think my background with that, and obviously I did actually for a while, I loved psychology for a while. I really thought that that's what I was going to major in college. Just taking time to analyze people, to analyze how they interact with you, to analyze, if they're negative towards you or if they're mean towards you. Maybe it's not them necessarily trying to be that, but it's, it's a trigger or something that happened in the past that, makes them that way. So it's really trying to be, empathetic towards people that you never know what they've been through.
Right. Everybody's fighting their own demons.
You never know the battles that they're facing at home. We, especially in a world like social media, we're very superficial.
Right.
We make it seem like everything's perfect and rainbows and ponies, but it's
and
not like
everybody's so brave to criticize because they're behind a screen or behind
exactly. And so that's one of the things that, it's very important just to know that whatever you see on social media or even whenever you see someone walk by, you do not know what's going on at home.
That's one of the things that we touch base on with the whole platform of this. The initial stepping stone that we wanted to do is YouTube, and then that's one of the first things I told her is like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see the comments. Like, I don't know. Not that I couldn't handle it, but like I know that I'm the kind of person that would think passionately and like get triggered almost to a sense.
And happens.
It's like I have to disconnect and just say, hey, you know what? That person wouldn't say that in my face. If it comes to that.
Or will you? And it happens. It's one of those things. You have to find that confidence and you have to find that self-love.
It goes back to what you were saying earlier. Sorry, like just delete, block, move on.
It takes mental maturity.
Yeah,
I think so.
I didn't have it at 23 though.
That's true, and it's like I said, it's very impressive.
But it's who you surround yourself with too.
That's a big
I work
difference.
with a lot of people, and I hang out with a lot of people that are older than me.
Yeah.
It's very rare. I don't have that many friends.
What are you saying? Like,
should we expose them? Are you gonna give your age or not?
we think we said our age. I'm 34.
32.
No, you're not.
You said yeah.
Wait, you didn't even know? Oh, I was like, wait, did we just expose him?
He's a jerk. That made me feel older.
But yes, that's the thing. Also, literally, who you surround yourself with is a reflection of you.
We're flattered whenever we get carded at the bars. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And me, whenever I turn 21, I'm like, you're not gonna ask for my ID. And even now, if I don't get carded, which is really rare because I look like I'm 14, and I'm like, you sure you don't want to check my ID? Look, I have it. I even get used to it by then. I'm like, no, here's my ID. You can look at it. I know you don't believe me.
But no, going back to what you're talking about, method acting, that actually did remind me of, and it touches on a movie coming out soon, The Joker. But whenever the Heath Ledger actor, he did that, he was actually warned by, I think it was Jack Nicholson or somebody who also played the Joker, that they dive when they dive into the character, and I mean obviously that character is so dark and just heavy. He was warned. And that just reminded me about that.
Of course.
I know that's a little dark, but that's how you have to.
And it's anything, even as a small business owner, you have to take into consideration. Yeah, you may have agreements, but sometimes you have to be flexible enough to be like, you know what? If you're going through something financially, I get it. I get it if we're not going to work together for a few months. Totally understand. So it's being flexible. You never know what your clients are going through. Be flexible, be open, and
self-aware of your industry, though.
Of course,
that's a big thing because if anybody else would have been, no, you signed on to my client, therefore I expect this, this, and this. But that would be turning off a lot of clients. So it's just being self-aware of your industry and your clients.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You just have to, that's one of the biggest things. You never know who you're gonna meet,
right?
And you never know when's the right time, that you're gonna meet someone. But then also you never know, what the people that you're surrounded with are going through and why, God put them in your life.
Right.
You never know. Maybe you're gonna be that person that's gonna be able to help them or something like that.
And that's the beauty I feel with small businesses and the small business world because my 9 to 5 is very corporate.
Of course,
it's a payroll office, and we work with big companies, big corporations all over Texas. And so when we bill people, we don't take into consideration. We don't have I'm not worried about what's going on in your personal life, and it's very
disconnected.
It is disconnected, but at the same time, it's just work.
And for a lot of people, work is just work.
It is, and that's to me sad because touched base on this with almost every single guest that we've had on is people lose themselves and the habit and the routine and working for somebody else is not for your own.
Of course.
And diving into this world of small businesses,
of course,
it's very human. It's very like I feel for you and you feel for me, and it's not even people ask for it. It's just understood.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of quotes that go onto that about saying, you know, for example, if the moment that you buy something from a small business or someone doing a happy dance, or the moment that you shop small, like you really are supporting someone's dream because it's true. Like, you know, these are people that sat there and took the risk, took the jump, said, you know what, I'm gonna open up my own store. Oh, I'm gonna open up this, or I'm gonna do that, or whatever. And they took the risk. And when people are actually supporting it, it blows your mind. You're like, oh wow, people believe in me.
Yeah, it feels absolutely good.
It's the difference of like you could have easily gone into any marketing group, you know, a big corporation, done their marketing for Nike, for Coca-Cola.
Of course,
and at the end of the day, yes, you're going to be getting big money, but you're not going to feel the gratitude, the good feeling you take home.
And the people that you meet. The people that you meet that they just touch your lives, and you get to introduce to people, you know, to one another and help each other out, especially in a city like Houston. There's so many small businesses, and it's so good.
Imagine when you connect someone from like Texas and California, and they can franchise.
I know that would be awesome. Maybe I should do some sort of business directory or something to connect people. You just never know.
Yeah, and actually, we can touch base on it. We were talking the other day, yesterday, at a shop, and something that we could probably do. She suggested, it was her idea, which I think is freaking genius. Once we get our website, creating a directory.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what? We didn't think of that.
Why? I mentioned it as a Rolodex. I'm like, we can have a Rolodex.
Listen to you.
No, I know, like very 90s. I'm like, we can have a Rolodex of all of our guests. And if you're looking for photographers, we got photographers.
Of course, yes. But you know what? We're in the digital age where everything's just on.
No Rolodex. I'll throw mine away.
Just go on the website. It's the same thing. You just tailor it.
Do you know what a Rolodex is? No. Like
the phone book?
You may be too young for it.
You can the phone book.
No,
it's the Rolodex. You know. No, she does.
Where you put like your business card.
Yeah, it's like a.
I felt really old for a second. I'm like, oh my god, she doesn't know.
Well, I guess it just depends however you see it. But yeah, well, they still sell those at Office Depot, so it's not like that old.
On my job, they have a store up in Conroe, and the building is old, super old. Where like the safe is built into the wall. It's all the cabinets and everything. And they even have like the old school register, like it has a push down, but you know, old school.
Of course.
And then they have, and it took me a minute to realize what it was. It was a tiny shelf. It was a Rolodex. It was the little under the counter. It was a little deal. It didn't have the pull out, but it had the frame under it. And I'm like, what is this? And I was looking at it, I was like, oh crap, this is a Rolodex. So it's like completely out of date.
It's funny because we have it in our office too, but we don't use it anymore because we've now.
Of course, you adapt.
Yeah.
That's one of the things.
We have apps now.
Yeah.
But
airdrop it to you.
Exactly. So we had moved offices and now we condensed even more since we have new suite mates now. And I found it in one of the box. I'm like, what the fuck? And I transferred all this like to computer, but sure did. But it was just like a floppy disk.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of nowadays you have the internet, you have social media, so literally your portfolio, your resume, it's your social media account.
Something I thought about earlier that I wanted to ask was, do you, since you're so involved in social media and everything that has to do with that, do you keep an eye on things that are coming out with social media? Like what's next?
Like the trending?
Not necessarily of what's coming next, but I do look at different tools and different apps or, different ways to just up your game.
Okay.
So it's research more than anything.
Okay.
It's just researching like, let me see if I can find like a new filter or something like that. Let me see if I can find a new app that's going to make this,
so you get
faster.
very involved in what's
so it's
actually
really,
out there.
Exactly. Yeah, because a lot of the times, and it's like anything, if something's going to come out, great, it's going to come out, but usually it takes a few trial and errors for somebody to really perfect it. It happens with the iPhones all the time and all of that good stuff. But it's very important to obviously do your research and just try to do something, do it different.
Just try it. I think one thing that was that guy, Gary V. One of the things he said, even when it came down to the social networks, when there's a new one out, he jumps on it.
Of course.
And he just, and if it doesn't come to fruition in 6 months, he tried it, he did it. Okay, next.
Yes.
You know, moving forward, and I feel like that's your mentality with it.
I
Grab
just
an app, use it.
Yes.
If it works for you, if it doesn't.
Awesome. And that's the thing that a lot of the times, you know, with apps, whenever you edit stuff and all and everything, it's that some things are going to work for you. Some things are free and some things you pay for.
Right.
So that's another thing to keep in mind, you know, for example, for videos, you know, I use a lot of obviously music in videos. So obviously with music, it's copyrighted, so you can't use your favorite song in the videos and all that good stuff. But you know, finding what's the best website where I can have a membership that I have access to, you know, free music that I can use in my videos for my clients and all of that good stuff. So just doing a lot of research and also thinking about like, okay, what do I need next to up my game with my videos or up my game with my pictures, you know? So now I'm thinking, you know what? I think I'm gonna switch cameras. And now I, you know, just yesterday, you know, I just got, you know, a different stabilizer for my phone. Let me try this. So it's always, the main thing is always equipment. I just switched lights, for example. I had a certain pair of lights, and I'm like, you know what? These aren't portable. I can't really move around that much with them. Let me try to find something else that's gonna work. Exactly. And investing. That's one of the biggest things. You have to invest. You have to, you know, put out money to get money.
Spend money.
Exactly. Exactly. You got to spend money to make money.
That sucks. That's my hardest part.
It does, but you know what? It's like with everything, whether it's your equipment or same thing. True. Sometimes you have to invest, you know, to work out. You have to invest to have a healthier lifestyle, but it pays off. Yeah. You know, it
sacrifice.
There's a series of questions that we ask every guest.
Okay.
And I'll start it off because I remember the first one.
Yeah.
I'll let you. So no, maybe I'm thinking of the other one. So, what is the song that defines you right now?
Ooh, this is hard.
It is, but it's not.
Right now.
Yeah.
Shoot, I don't know.
It might not be like the most meaningful.
It doesn't even have to be relevant.
It has
like
to be
right now.
like the song that, you know, you can have a bad that just switches you to like a different level, like your a higher self of you, or just your one song that that's right now like.
It's probably not as appropriate, but "Feeling Myself" by Nicki Minaj.
Okay.
Yeah, Beyonce. I think especially like in
So you hear that playing when you walk in the room, is that?
Yes.
I felt it.
I put on my AirPods and now I'm like, yes. No, but I think, you know, whenever you start doing something that you're passionate about and you start dressing a certain way and you just start hanging out with the right people, you just feel yourself.
Yes.
You're like, yes, I feel empowered, I feel powerful, I feel great, like, let's do this. I'm feeling myself.
There you go.
And I think I'm in that, you know, time frame right now in my life where it's like, I feel like how we talked about, like, oh, did you leave your job at your peak? I'm like, no, I feel like this is my peak right now. Like, I'm really passionate about what I'm doing. I'm helping people. I'm able to pay my bills, and I'm able to buy my own stuff, and I'm able to travel.
Yeah.
And take your grandma with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And go to the gym. And do yoga and try new things. Like, this is when I'm feeling myself. I'm investing in my business. I'm investing in other people.
You haven't reached your peak.
You're investing
exactly.
in yourself.
Who knows? But do we ever even reach our peak? I feel like that's one of the hardest
I
things.
think that's the thing. Sometimes some people do, and they don't know. They didn't know that they could have did much better.
Sometimes. It all just really depends. I don't think you'll ever reach your peak because there's always room for improvement and for growth and for learning.
I think people reach their peak when they settle.
Exactly.
They're like, oh, I'm done, and that's it.
And they just keep doing the same routine over and over. I agree.
No, but
And
I
there's
get what you're saying, and I agree with that.
That
It's
may
so
peak in
hard.
some industries, and they're like, okay, moving on to the next, and they challenge themselves on a whole other industry or on a whole other plane.
Maybe that's how you should interpret what she was saying. Is you reached your peak where you were at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It all depends.
Not
it's at
your
different
personal
times.
peak.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man, now I'm retracting what I said. Like I didn't mean that you peaked at that time, but
No. But that's the thing that everybody works at different
Right.
paces.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different journey, but
it's still impressive. 3 Emmys, a commercial, under 23. You know, like man.
I know. We'll
trying to think.
see what's next. I need to start brainstorming what I'm gonna do. I always tell myself, I'm like, you know what, like, why not do something different every year? Like, who says that you have to stay with the same job and that's your whole career? Like, to me, I'm like, I'd like to do something different every year.
Every year, like you have your vacation goals every month.
Yeah.
And you've done started a business, you've done excelled in it in under 6 months. So why wait for a year?
Of course.
You know?
You never know. You never know what's going to be next. And I always like to keep my mind open. There's a lot of things that I'm passionate about. But right now, I'm feeling myself.
Okay, good, girl. Okay, so second question would be, what is your meal or your dish of comfort?
What's
your go-to food?
Yeah.
I love pozole.
Okay.
I know it sounds so random.
Oh, that's good.
But I love pozole.
Is there a spot, like there's a place that
Cuchara.
I loved it there. I went there I went this summer, just this summer.
Yes.
And I was hungover.
That's when it's the best.
I was hungover, and
Hence the name of the podcast.
yeah, my friend had left her car there. I was like, I'm gonna go get you. I'll pick you up. I'll take you where your car is.
Yes.
And we had gone to that Moyin bar across the
Yeah,
street.
yeah. Oh, it's so good there too.
It was-
Great frozen mojitos.
Yeah, they are. They actually have.
Yeah.
they're really
Everything. Anyway, that's my okay. So then
The Vietnamese
I went to go
fries.
pick up her car, and like, girl, like, we were both looking all kinds of bad.
Yes.
And like, I need some pozole. I'm like, have you tried this Mexican restaurant? No, let's try it.
Yeah.
Sat down.
Yeah.
We were looking at the whole menu. Everything looked good.
Yeah.
I had the pozole. She's like, ooh, she changed from
So
her whatever she was
good.
getting to. So we both had it, girl. We were just like,
Yes.
we didn't even look up. It was
yes.
delicious.
I know, it's so good. Yeah, I love pozole. Even though obviously sometimes it's a little too hot for it, but you know, a good pozole on a Sunday morning or a good pozole when you're hungover. A good pozole on the holidays or
Yeah,
whatever.
especially
I
when
love pozole. Green or red, I'm there for it.
Was it? I think it was red, right? The one that they have.
They
now?
have both green and red.
Do they? Okay, I think I had the red
Yeah,
one.
so I love pozole. But I
If you were
love
sober,
Mexican
you would have
food.
saw that.
True.
I know. But yes, anything pozole. I love mole as well, and some good tacos. Obviously, there's nothing good tacos won't fix.
That's true. Good job.
Yes.
All right.
The third question, and I know you kind of said that you didn't know, but put you on the spot. You, the question that we always ask is,
Yes.
where do you see yourself and your brand or business in 5 years?
In 5 years. Yeah, that's hard, man. That's so hard.
We probably should have asked that first and went to the other questions and came back to you.
No, I think the reason why it's hard is because knowing the type of person that I am, that I'm very spontaneous, that I like to keep growing, that I like to keep learning, and that I like to just keep trying new things. It's so, I can't tell you, I can't sit here and tell you that I want to have my business in this same business in 5 years.
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't.
then a year.
A year, I think hopefully by the time I hit a year, I'd like to have had some sort of celebration for my business.
Okay.
I think that's something that's missing. I've had my own type of celebrations.
You have a photo booth.
Sponsored. But yes, I think hopefully within the year, that's one of the things I've helped coordinate I've helped coordinate one of the biggest festivals here in Houston.
Yes.
I've helped coordinate so many small business events. I've helped coordinate a pageant. I've helped coordinate all that stuff for all of my clients and other businesses, and I haven't had something for mine.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man.
Finish giving your badge. What festival was that? You never mentioned it.
Yes, the Colombian Festival.
That was it.
Yes, it was a lot of fun. It's actually, they were one of my very first clients. Same thing whenever I talk about knocking on doors. So the president, Jorge, he's the president of the festival. I met him while I was working at Telemundo, because obviously Telemundo always sponsors the festival. So I had always known him, and whenever I started my own business, I was thinking of possible clients, people that I could work with. And it was crazy. I hadn't talked to him in months, and I sent him a message. I'm like, hey, I just started my own business. Do you have room for anybody in your team to help you with anything? Yeah, come on by.
Sweet.
And sure enough, I was part of his team, and I was running the Colombian Fest social media accounts. I coordinated a lot of the giveaways with a lot of the bloggers and influencers for tickets, and I did a lot of their PR. So I coordinated their interviews, with Fox. We had one with, I think, like CW and all of that good stuff. Telemundo, obviously. So, and it was awesome.
Are you the go-getter to contacts? Like you reach out to for the interviews?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow.
So I was able to do that. It's not something that I really say I'm a PR firm, because that's not necessarily what I'm really, really passionate about. I mean, yes, of course I can do it, and I think it's a really great tool. but I don't necessarily consider myself like I'm a PR firm, because I found also my passion and what I really love is doing that, you know, helping people with their social media account, creating meaningful content, all of that good stuff.
Okay.
But yes, the Colombian Festival was technically one of my first clients. He was one of the first people that believed in my work, and he gave me the opportunity to be part of his team, and it was an amazing experience. Obviously, and to be able to say that I worked with the Colombian, exactly. So it was amazing, and so I've helped coordinate a lot of stuff, and I've helped a lot of people, but I haven't done anything yet for my business. So hopefully within the year, I would like to have my own celebration. For
What's hopeful about it, from what I see, and even with us, is the fact that you've already created such a solid, good foundation that it's easy for you to, you know, when you do create that event, they're just gonna flock to you. You won't have to do much of the reaching out. It's just like, I'm gonna have this event. You know, would you want to be a part of it? And of course, everybody's gonna want to be a part of it.
Before you finish asking, they're gonna say yes.
Yes, and that's what.
He's already in it.
And that's what that's what I've always told people, that I'm like, look, you know, I'm a firm believer of just helping people and just being kind, and just being a good person,
and it shows.
Yourself,
it really
and just
shows.
being like, you know what, you need help with this? Awesome, here, I can help with that, and just saying yes to, you know, stuff that you believe in. Exactly.
People,
stuff that you believe in and the right people.
That's so beautiful, man. Like, only because every time you say something, it just reaches back to almost every guest we've had. From, you know, Eric at Barbershop. He also reaches out. He gives vets and, you know, the homeless, like, these discounts, free haircuts.
Of course, yeah.
He may upcharge regular clients, but he was like, it's all about giving back. It's about helping the community.
Of course.
Photographers, like, artists, like, everything is like, I think that's the beauty. Like I said, it goes back to the human in us, the small businesses, our brand. It's like the genuinity of just wanting to help, wanting to make a difference. And I feel the fact that you're connecting all these people that have the same drive, which is to help others.
Exactly.
And you're bringing them all together. That's amazing, girl.
And that's what it is. That's what it's all about. It's just, you have to remember that at the end of the day, we are all humans. We're all fighting our own battles. We all have to pay bills. But at the end of the day, we're all just trying to do our best to, you know, have a legacy and leave something behind.
To kind of give a twist to his question, because I know he gave the 5-year thing, and I know you saying, you know, the way you are, and you pushing the inner questions every 4 years. Where do you see Connect Media Firm in the long, like, just where do you see it stopping, or where would you, okay, the moment where you're gonna say, this, I made it, even though I feel like you've already done that. I know
it's so hard to say that, because for me,
would it be to make it a franchise? Would it be to, I don't know.
I don't know. As crazy as it sounds, I don't know if I want to make it this big company, because the moment I make it this big company, it's not what the whole point of what it was supposed to be. You know, because the moment you become this huge company is whenever you start losing that touch, you know, that I like to have with those people. Same thing, you know, I have a lot of work, and I have a lot of clients, and I have had, you know, my parents are like, okay, it's time for you to hire someone, even if it's part-time, to help you with things here and there. But I tell them, I'm like, I'm not emotionally ready for that, because then that means I don't get to talk to my clients face to face and meet with them and send them emails and talk to them.
I mean,
you know?
and this is just my opinion. I mean, if you had somebody to help you in the back where you could have more FaceTime with your customers. Maybe
that too, but it's just same thing. It's finding the right people to help me with that.
Maybe somebody interned, like maybe a college student who wants to get into
your
Of course,
exactly. And that's the crazy thing, that, you know, since I don't have a set schedule with everything that I do, I'm still, you know, very much out there just doing what I can. It's so hard to even accept an intern or something like that, because I'm like, man, you're really gonna see my crazy life where, like, no, like, it seems like it's very much, but I don't, like, okay, I wake up, post, okay, changed, okay, let me go to this meeting in my heels, okay, done with this meeting, let me take off my heels, let me put on my chanclas so I'm more comfortable so I can shoot. It's just crazy. It's not, you know, and I don't know if I feel comfortable yet showing someone, like, I mean, this is my reality of it.
Maybe they have to see that to know that, hey, this is what you're going to get into.
That's true. Because I see that, for example, in the whole interior designing world, where, you know, small businesses.
Of course.
And it's just like, you know, I guess designers get interns because they don't have the set schedule, because they don't have the budget to actually pay someone. And they're doing all the crazy stuff,
Of
like
course.
the whole picking up, dropping off, return this, do the label for that. Like, it's those little things.
And that's the thing, that it's also making sure that you feel comfortable enough to let your baby go.
That's true too. That's true
Where
too.
it's like, I'm very particular in how things are going to be, and I know how a client likes certain things, or the type of wording that we should use, or the emojis, or this or that. And that's something that I'm still adjusting and I'm trying to understand. And then maybe, hopefully within a year, and once I have a better understanding of this, depending on, where things go, then, I'll see. But, for me right now, the freelancing, I guess the word free in it, feeling that freedom of just being able to just not only help and, do what you can, but also just having that freedom to just do however you want to do it, and it's amazing to me, and I love it, and it's so much fun.
Why give it to someone else, right?
Well, it's not only that, it's not like I'm like, okay, I mean, could I technically pay someone, a certain amount? Yeah, I could, but then also that means that that's money that I could have to travel or something.
Yeah.
So it's also, you gotta weigh out what your priorities are. A lot of the times, for example, if you do have a kid or if you have a house, yes, you want to grow as a company, so you can make X amount and you can have this many employees, and so you can help your children. But for me, my priorities right now is just to do what I can, make a living out of it, and grow and travel right now. And so for me, it's like, either I pay someone or I just work extra hard so I can keep that money for myself and just treat myself, for a few days or a few weeks.
Right. I'll tell you, based on at least, and then this is different because it's a partnership. It's not a intern or anything, but it feels awesome to be able to like hand off work to her, and all of a sudden, like, I see, somebody liked something and I didn't post anything. It was her, and it's like, oh wow. That looks cool.
Yeah.
It feels good when you have that kind of support.
It does, which is
you
impressive.
have to find the right people. That's what it is.
Yeah, and I think we struggled with that at the beginning because we didn't have any experience, and other than drinking and talking, camera, editing, everything. Like, we had no idea.
Of course.
Angling, lighting. There's so many things that came into play. So when we first sat down, we're like, well, do we find somebody that has experience in editing? Do we find someone that has experience in this? And we waited, like, we would talk about it so much,
of course,
to the point where, like, okay, dude, like, we're not finding somebody
you're gonna figure it out.
We had that point, and not to say anything, and not talking bad about the person at all, but like somebody that said, all right, I'm gonna be there, and I'm gonna help you out, I'm gonna be your camera person, whatever. And it didn't happen. And then even with the editing, and like, I have zero experience with editing.
Of course.
Well, let me rephrase that. Whatever experience I have editing is what we have from the podcast.
Yeah.
If you look at our first episode to our most recent one, night and day.
Yeah.
Like, complete, evolution.
And there's still so much room to improve.
No, and hey,
I'm just saying that both of us.
Why are you knocking my stuff?
No,
but it's absolutely
No, he does. I tell him all the time.
It's absolutely true. I do have a lot to learn. But what I'm getting at is, we got to that point where it was like, all right, this person's like, hey, I'm gonna help you out.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen, and we're like sitting there with frustration, and I was like, you know what? All right, let me just throw this together. We started doing it, and it looked messy, but we did it.
We had to talk, like, we'd be embarrassed, because if you were to see the first one, it's very cringeworthy the whole time.
But it's like anything. It's like anything.
And they told,
no, it's not the editing.
You gotta start.
It's not the editing. It's cringeworthy.
Well, you got your experience already. You already talked to people. You've had so many opportunities to grow as a team.
And I felt like we were there, like, before we even uploaded it. We were like, do we do this or not?
Yeah.
Like, it was bad. We were like, man, this is been a bad. But we both agreed, if we don't just upload it, we're never gonna have our first upload.
Of course.
Because we're gonna nitpick everything we say, everything we do.
It's like anything. It's like anything. Mm-hmm.
So we said, just upload it. Next one, we do better. And I felt like,
sit down,
since
look at
we've
it.
done everything, each one has been better.
That's awesome.
And it goes back to what you're saying. It's like, if you have someone else helping you, it loses the genuinity of it.
Oh yeah.
Because we can easily, like, I've been having a struggle being more active in social media, just because it doesn't go with me as a person.
You have to find the person that's their cult, that's their thing. You
Or
find a team.
I can just challenge myself to
That
grow,
too.
because I feel like I could take that route, because I've considered you, and I was like, she can do it for me. Like, there's so many things. Like, he's laughing because he knows. Like,
think about like your first upload, your
right.
first post.
And I thank God for him because he's been so patient with me, and I feel like underneath the skin, he's like, come on, but he's not doing it to me. But I want to be that person. But it's just the whole growing and change is uncomfortable. But I'd rather do it and be proud of how far I've come because we have changed. Both of us have. So I totally feel what you're saying about not handing off those, icky responsibilities or the time-consuming things of it because it's yours.
That's yours. And you want to be in control of everything.
The pride of it. I did that. Every part of it.
Exactly.
So I've totally understood that. I respect that. I admire it, and I wish. I aspire to that. So
you're gonna do it, girl. You gotta say it out into the universe. You gotta put it out.
Any other questions?
I think that's it.
Do you want to talk about something?
Is there something you want to cover?
Showcase or?
Not necessarily. I think we covered a lot. I think we talked about the good, the bad, the beginning, the end, the future, and everything. So, to me, I think one of the most important things as a small business is always sharing your journey and sharing your experiences. There's a lot of people you never know, especially in a place like social media. A lot of people follow you, and a lot of times you don't even know them. There's a lot of people that follow me that I don't know, and vice versa. And I think it's always so important to just being open to just sharing your experiences, sharing the good and the bad. And that's what a lot of people, what I try to do with my social media, not only, even in my personal one, is being very honest and being very, not brutal, but just blunt about certain things and just, let's talk, let me address stuff that, might, seem like I have it all together on social media, but I don't. Like, let me share something bad that happened to me today, let me share, I don't know, everything that went wrong during my trip that I planned, and I think that's what's so important with anything is just regardless of what you're doing as a small business or whatever you're doing, even your personal account. And I always tell this to my clients: don't lose yourself. It's so easy to seem like you're a robot on social media, that you have it all together.
Right.
But it's so important to show your rawness. To show your failures, share where you went wrong, share, that didn't work out for me. I thought I had it and I didn't, and I thought this was going to be it for me and it didn't work out. And it's good. Show people that, hey, we're all going through the same thing. We all have our failures, and don't let social media fool you.
And that's what people connect with the most. I've seen that in artists that I follow, when they show their rawness and their moments of weakness.
Of course.
That's when most of the following comes, like, girl, you got, whatever
it's
the case.
Support system.
So I think that's, if there's anything that anybody would take away with it, whether it's professionally or personally, it's just always know, your values and your morals, and never lose yourself. Never, it's so easy, especially nowadays on social media, to get lost into trying to be perfect and the perfect filter and the perfect angle and the perfect picture and this and that and everything perfect, and look at my, perfect life or whatever, but it's not, it's I think it's fair enough to say nobody has a perfect life, and we all, go through tough things, and maybe, you won't see it on social media, but people are going through stuff. And whenever you see a store open, like a business, keep in mind everything that happened in between for them to be able to get to that point. But don't get discouraged about it. It builds that, that courage, and it builds, your personality and your charisma, and you have a story to tell. It might not be a pretty one, but those are the ones that are usually the most inspiring anyways.
Absolutely.
So don't be afraid to tell your story, and be raw and be honest and sharing your experiences. That's the beauty of social media as well, is being able to share with other people.
You help other people grow.
Share with other people all of your growth and everything that you've kind of that you've been through, because you never know who you're going to inspire.
True.
Amen.
Yes.
So one more time, just in case people didn't get it. How can people see you on social media?
Interesting. I'm not gonna spell it for you because it's pretty straightforward. But personally, you can find me under Ilse Monette.
I'll take this.
Maybe I should spell that one out. It's ILSE Monette, and for my business account, it's Connected Media Firm.
I'll take this.
So y'all can find me on social media. We live in social media.
I like the name Ilse too, because it's so different. Like when I saw it, I was like, wait, did I misspell or did I misread?
What is the story behind your name, Mama, if you don't mind us asking?
People always ask me that, and honestly, with Ilse, there is no specific story other than my tia really liked the name, suggested it to my mom, and they kind of went with it. With my name Monette, obviously obviously it comes from the French artist Monet. So in case you don't know, there's a jewelry line that it's Monet. That's how it is, Monet, like the French artist. And my dad gave my mom a watch with that line, and they really liked it, and they spiced it up a bit, added an extra T and an E, and it's Monette. Yeah, so it's not Monet because it sounds so fancy, but it's Monette.
Like Target.
Exactly, Target.
Okay.
Target sponsor us.
Right, please.
You heard it?
Yes, but no. Yes, obviously, I'm more than welcome. If I've been a student with all of these ideas and dreams and aspirations, and I've reached out to people. I've looked for mentors. I've asked other people questions. So one of my biggest things, if people have questions and they want to reach out.
Awesome. Usually we ask if somebody can do that, but that is amazing that you just threw it out
Yes, of
there.
course. I think it's so important. There's so many people that helped me to get to where I am, that gave me opportunities, that believed in me. So I'm more than happy, if anybody reaches out to me and needs some sort of advice or help, reach out. I'd be more than happy. That's my purpose, and I want to be able to help other people. Somebody helped me, so I've got to, give that back.
Pushing the blessings out.
Of course.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That is amazing.
We appreciate it.
Yes.
Again, thank you
So
for
much,
your time.
Ilse. You don't understand it.
I think we, especially we're going to be working in
Yes.
the future with my business.
Yes,
but,
of course.
Yo me pego de chicle.
And she's amazing, by the way. If you ever need a head girl, let me tell you.
Oh, they
Let
know.
me tell you.
They know.
She
If
pulled
you
four.
need,
quinceañeras.
yes.
4 quinceañeras?
Yeah.
This girl's amazing. Talk about people that just believe in your work and support you. These are the type of people that you need in your life. So if you need a hype girl, send her.
Oh, yeah, no.
She'll send you her rates as a hype girl. But yes, amazing. I'm super thankful. Obviously, it's crazy. Obviously how we connected, and how everything kind of just came together, and I can't believe.
And it's gonna continue to
A
grow.
perfect example. I mean, I knocked on their door, sending them a DM. Hey, would you be interested in being part of this event? And I've never even met them before.
Is that how it was?
I sent them a
Okay.
message. I was like, "Hey, would you be interested?" I mean, obviously, that's what I'm saying. There's so many, businesses that are similar. But I'm like, you know what? Let me send them a message. Let me see if it works out.
We asked this already, but I'm trying to remember if you answered. Is there a niche that you would love to get into, like an industry? Did you answer that?
Well, no. We asked what's
like the audience or the type of client. But
Well, no. I think what you're asking is there an industry that you'd like to get into, or
that you haven't done yet, that strikes their interest. Like, it would be cool to do that. Or a specific company that I like what their vibe is, or I would like to help them or something.
maybe I don't think I've worked with a restaurant.
Okay.
Maybe a restaurant would be something cool. So a really cool restaurant that I really like. Maybe that would be something fun. I haven't really actually photographed a lot of plates or food. So maybe a restaurant would be cool.
So are you Mexican restaurants that serve pozole? Come on.
Pay me a pozole.
Oh!
That should be a shirt.
Pay me in pozole. There you go.
Because it kind of...
Yeah.
She's like, let me
Trademark.
get that.
Yes, I said it here first.
We got proof.
Yes, but no, don't really pay me a pozole. I still need money. So maybe that's going to be it. I'm
Okay,
first going to say,
record
pay me in pozole. And then in the bank, be like, JK, so pay the invoice.
10 days.
Yeah, come on, let's do this. But yeah, so we'll see. Maybe a restaurant. I did a coffee shop. Obviously, I'm really passionate about coffee. Love coffee. But hopefully down the line, I'd like to maybe start my own brand of merch. That's something that we talked about.
Okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I can start brainstorming some things of what I would like to do. What I do is obviously a service. So something that I've talked to my friends about. It's so hard to sell a service.
Yeah.
But whenever you sell a product that people can touch and physically see and it's tangible, yes, I want to buy it.
Right.
So I like to challenge myself to have a product of my own that I can sell to people.
That's awesome.
I guess that could have been towards a 5-year thing. That's your
Maybe.
5 years.
Actually,
Yeah.
no, in a year.
Bang.
There you go.
In a year.
Like it.
Yes. So hopefully maybe in a year. So I'd like to start my own brand. So
Traveling?
lots of traveling.
No, but I was saying a traveling brand. Maybe.
That would be fun too. I love traveling. I think it's so much fun. I think it's so important to get out
Travelocity,
there.
what's up? Sponsor.
Travelocity.
Hello, come on, someone.
She has the points to prove it.
I'll take pictures and video. Come on, what more do you want?
There you
That
go.
is a
I'll
good
post
one.
about it.
A tourist agent.
Oh, that's something that I was experimenting with a little bit as well. With my Costa Rica trip and with any of my trips, I'm really like, I do a whole itinerary when I travel. Like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, activities in between, everything with a time. I do a whole itinerary. I love that. So maybe that's something that I possibly would like to tap into.
Yeah.
Let me ask
It's
you
like
that.
yeah.
Do you panic when you don't have a schedule?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to have everything in line. Because to me, then I'm wasting time. I'm wasting time. Especially whenever you're traveling, it's like, think about how much time you waste, especially whenever even just here in Houston.
I want to
have
sit
dinner.
down with your parents, man. Like they've instilled so much good stuff with you, and it goes
My
back to
dad
both
was
of them being
always
entrepreneurs and
it was
stuff.
of course, especially like for example in high school, if I wanted to go to the movies or if I wanted to do anything with my friends, I had to let my dad know like 2 weeks in advance so he could put it on his calendar.
Nah, man.
Wow.
If I asked him the date,
Yeah.
and he would literally take out his calendar and be like, okay, what date?
Where you
Because if I
went?
asked the day before, it's very inconsiderate because he already planned a meeting or something, and as an entrepreneur, you gotta plan everything.
You see, and I couldn't do that with my mom because if I were to ask her 2 weeks in advance, that means I would have to be her little for 2 weeks. And to me, it's like, I'd rather not. So I'd ask her the night
Go
before.
wing it.
I'll risk it.
No, yeah. So it's little stuff like that, and it really taught me as well to respect people's time. So especially as an entrepreneur, that's one of the biggest things, with people is that whenever people say, oh, let's just go to happy hour, let's just go grab dinner or lunch or whatever. Awesome, let's do it. But let's still respect each other's time. And same thing. Whenever if you know for sure you're not really gonna work with that person,
that just adds on back to what she was saying, and not because of looks or anything, but like you seem older because that's a very considerate and like. Once you're older, you respect time a little bit more because you know that you can't say, "Hey, you busy tomorrow?"
Well, it's
No,
bad
I already have
experience. I
plans.
think bad experiences put a sour taste in people's mouths.
Of
I feel
course.
like
plan your week.
yeah, well,
Plan your
I feel like
days,
there's people in our lives, even personal, where they're just known to be late.
Well, that and I think what that adds is it shows that you value that person's
Of
time.
course,
Well,
of
that's
course.
what it comes down to.
Yep, of course, exactly, and that's one of my biggest things. I like to sit down and, on a Sunday or whatever, just plan out my whole week and what I'm gonna do and when I'm gonna work out and when I'm gonna meet this person and when I'm gonna pose and when I'm gonna do this and that. And sometimes you do. Sometimes you work 7 days a week. You don't have any time off, but then you work, and then take a long break.
Right.
And then work for a long time and then take an even longer break. So maybe you won't have a weekend off, but you'll have your long vacation.
Yeah. So I want to give a huge shout out to Calcio Coffee Shop here, who's hosted us tonight,
Yes.
giving us our own little space out here.
Of course. You have your own couch now if you ever need a spot to hang out. This
Sorry
is
for the people that we kicked out earlier.
No, we didn't kick them out.
No, it's fine. Daniel proved it.
Yeah.
But thanks again, Daniel, and
course.
Calcio Coffee Shop.
Yes.
And thank you, Ilse, for taking
Yes.
time away from your busy schedule and making time for us.
Of course.
We appreciate
It's
it.
really, really great.
Anything, to really, I'm a genuine believer in sharing your story and inspiring other people. And this is just one platform. And I
Right.
think, God gave you guys this opportunity, to do this. And, it's a calling and you guys listened and you did it and you got your equipment and you just said, let's just do
Let's
it.
just do it.
And you just never know who you're inspiring.
Yeah,
That's true.
Absolutely. And so, again, we appreciate you guys tuning in and watching this episode of Let's Grab a Drink. Make sure and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the share button. Make sure to follow
Yes.
Miss Ilse
Yes.
at Connect Media Firm.
Yes.
It's gonna be a blooper. It's gonna be edited. I don't
But thanks
care.
again, guys. You guys check her out, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.